All right. Hey, how's everybody doing? It's Quentin Jackson here again from Digital Church. Wanted to come on here and do a very brief video. Water break, right? So I want to come on here very quickly and talk about something stimulus package related because it's a very hot topic right now. First off, let me go ahead and show you all this. This video was brought to you by Digital Church, where we educate churches and leaders, pastors, members, whoever, on the upcoming changes in the church and what you can do to push your church forward. We have a ebook for sale, the PDF version and the Kindle version. We also have a book on Amazon, but it's more expensive there, so it'd actually be better if you get it through the website. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So churches and stimulus check. I really didn't want to I didn't want to touch this topic because it's a very touchy topic, but there are churches who are in a lot of financial trouble right now. Well, actually, they were in financial trouble before this whole pandemic situation. And now, because a lot of churches can't have service, this is kind of exasperating the issue. It's kind of making it, worse. And what you're going to see happen is you're going to have churches, number one, who are applying for the small business loans and some of these other loan forgiveness programs. The problem is a lot of churches are not set up properly where they'll be able to get these loans. Because one of the things about the loans, the businesses that are getting these loans, they have the infrastructure, they have the proper setup to where they can chase behind this money, and they have the proper setup where they have everything, organized in a good fashion. So when the SBA needs certain documents, they can produce those very quickly. A lot of churches can't do that, and it's going to be very interesting. And there's so many different things happening. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because this is something I bring up in my book. Churches have to create other streams of income besides just taking in money. Taking in money is great, and that is one of the functions of a charitable organization, but it's not sustainable. And what you're going to see happen is there's going to be a second round of stimulus money coming, because you still have a lot of people who haven't received money from the first package. And personally, me, from a moral standpoint, there's a lot of bigger businesses that got that money that really didn't need the money, but applied for it anyway. And that to me is just kind of just kind of not right. To me that's not fully integral, because if you have a business like Ruth Chris Steakhouse is doing multiple millions of dollars a year, or some other well-known brand name, I mean, it's to me it's just like you have the mom and pops, you have these smaller businesses that can really benefit from this money, even churches that are doing mission work that can really benefit from this money. But right now, during times like this, is when people show their true selves. They show greed and different things like that. But what you're going to see happening is there's going to be another round of stimulus checks, and the smaller churches that are not set up properly, they're still going to be in the same position. And what's going to happen is they're going to be looking for the membership to give their stimulus check, tithes and offerings to the church. I was at a church. What was I? No, I was at a broadcast on a church broadcast Sunday, and I saw several different live streams from different churches, and several of the pastors were saying, they were making statements to the effect of, well, yeah, when you get your stimulus check, you have to give to God, and you have to give back to God, because your stimulus check is increased and all this other stuff. And on one side of my brain, I'm like, I understand you need the money. I get that. But on the other side of my brain, I'm like, stimulus checks are not increase. This is not free money that we're just getting just because. This is actually, assistance that's being given to us. So it's gonna be very interesting what happens, because churches are in such a bad financial position, and a lot of them are not positioned where they can really get this money. It's going to be very interesting. And there's a statistic, and I'm going to pull it up very quickly, on church closings, and I'm going to put it up here. All right. So there's two statistics about church closings. There's one that says that 10 to 12,000 churches close their doors every year, and there's a lesser one that says close to 4,000 churches close their doors every year. So we're going to go with this one. Basically, you have churches that are closing every year, and this has to deal a lot with what's happening in the economy, what's happening with income inequity. You have families that were able to give a lot of money at one point who are no longer able to give like they used to, because they don't have enough income coming in. And especially with the millennials are statistically the lowest givers ever. And so you have giving trends and attendance trends in the church, where attendance is going down and giving is going down. And these two statistics, these two areas have been going down for the last 20, 30, 40 years. And what's going to happen is, after this economic crisis is over, with this pandemic and everything like that, you're going to see a lot of churches close their doors for good. And I'm not talking about this statistic that I have here. I'm talking about thousands of churches are not going to be able to survive. And there's so many different things that go into it, and I go into a lot of detail on these things in my ebook. But basically, as far as the stimulus package is concerned, when it comes to a lot of these nonprofit churches and these organizations, they're not going to be able to survive. The stimulus package will provide some money right now to help them, pay up on their rents or something like that, or if they have staff or a band. Like me, I play for a church, but we've been doing broadcasts. We do broadcasts, and we do recordings and stuff like that. And we, practice social distancing and all that stuff. But even the church I play for, it's a smaller church, and they're not in a good position either. And what you're going to see happening is just going to be this ripple effect, because the state of the individual American, affects the church, right? Because the church is made up of individuals. And the church is funded by individuals who give of their income. And so it's just going to be very interesting how all of this works, especially once these payments stop, or once, let's say there's like a lot of fine print inside of these, loan forgiveness programs. And let's say a church doesn't handle something properly. It's going to be a very interesting, sight, interesting scene. So one thing I would suggest, if you are a church, if you are a pastor, if you are a minister, member, whoever, definitely download my ebook. You definitely want to get the ebook. I talk about a lot of different things that are happening in the church, and make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I'll be doing other video content, and I'll be pushing out some more content for you guys, and really doing my best to help educate you all on what's going on, and offer some real benefit to the people of God. So with that being said, you guys have a good one.